Hi. I'm eating dinner. I scheduled a live event for like in an hour, but I decided to just go live now. And then, I don't know, maybe we can do scheduling in the future. How are we? What's up? Is it the weekend? Yeah, how is everyone's weekend? The guy I went on a first date only texted me 2 days later saying he's busy, asking how are you? Are you in a relationship? Look. Who cares if he's interested or not? Why wouldn't he be interested? You know, live your best life. Don't wait for men. Period. Okay? You can reply if you want to, but my thing is always going to be do not center men male attention in your life unless they've given you a really good and lucrative reason to. Okay? Oh my god, thank you for saving my playlist. No, because like you went on one date with this guy, so what has he done to deserve your full attention? Absolutely nothing. And like the reason why men approach you and take you out is because they want to sleep with you. Okay? Don't forget that. It's very, and like how much effort they're willing to put in to achieve that. You know, they get to determine. There's nothing wrong with him being busy. Okay? Like, it's actually fine if he's busy. Don't take that personally at all. Like, I don't reply to a lot of messages because I'm busy or because it's just not on my priority list, you know? It's not a personal thing at all. You basically don't know this guy. Whatever story he's written in his head about you is not based on actually knowing anything about you. So don't take it personally. Focus on yourself. Nurture a hobby if you don't already have one. Or start a hobby. Go out, have fun. If he comes back, then you can decide in a new energy state whether you want to entertain him or not, okay? Don't wait around. It's okay to have that feeling and be like, where is he? But don't let yourself get caught up in it. Don't let yourself spiral in that feeling, you know? Yes. I extracted as much funds and gifts from my ex and had an exit strategy before I dumped him. Okay, we love that. Slay. My man texted me. He was too tired yesterday. Just text me hi now. Didn't even open the message. Period. Serve you. Keep practicing and you'll get there. Societal conditioning can be ingrained. Yes. Like, it's okay. Be self-compassionate. Totally normal to wonder and have a sense of humor about like your ego needs and your neediness as well. Be like, oh, okay, there she goes again, wanting attention. That's okay. But you don't want to be like waiting by your phone for a guy who hasn't done anything to make himself worth that amount of your energy. You know what I mean? Self-compassion part is hard. Yeah, it's definitely just a practice, you know, the same way practicing compassion with others is that too. Very happy with my growth in 12 months. I'm very happy that you're happy too. Well, they never really know what confidence and success is most of the time. They like the look of it. They like the energy that you have when you are those things, but close up, they try to bring you down to their level. Okay? Otherwise, they would actually, if they really knew what confidence and success was, they wouldn't try to bring you down while you were dating, okay? They would uplift you. They would support you the way that you would do for them. So they don't know what confidence and success is. They're just horny. They just like what they see, but that doesn't mean they understand what it takes to make that kind of cake, okay? They don't know the recipe. They can't even read the recipe. They don't even know where to get the recipe from. Losers. They don't know what they want because what are they going to do if they're dealing with a woman who doesn't need them? You know, they've been raised in a generation. Like, I feel like our parents' generation, you know, even though it's kind of like the beginning of this mass fracturing of the family unit because women can make their own money. They don't have to sit around and deal with men's bullshit. But at the same time, there are so many guys, there are so many, guys that are raised by mothers that sacrificed everything or like stayed in relationships with their fathers because they needed to be financially supported by them or whatever. So they haven't interrogated that, you know. Advice for women in unsafe relationships. I don't feel like I'm qualified to give advice on that specifically. I would say that you do need to change your mindset from like you can't leave to you need to figure out how you're going to leave as safely as possible, and be patient and have an action plan in terms of how you go about that. And, you know, do research, seek resources from places and people that have more experience in that arena. That's not really something that I can give you like a step by step. You know, it might take you longer than you expect to do so, but I'm not someone that believes that you are completely bound by your circumstances. If what you want for yourself is not what you have now, you need to be more determined than your fear or your discomfort or your familiarity with your current circumstances, you know? Yeah, I think the issue that we have in society now is that like a lot of advice or a lot of rhetoric is centered around trying to jump to a solution without fully accepting and understanding what the current circumstances are. If you can't just tell it like it is, you're not going to be able to come up with a good solution. You're going to be trying to manipulate circumstances, and that is not a sustainable long-term solution. Yeah, more often than not, you have to suck it up and prepare for a safe exit. You literally need to think of those sorts of situations like you're going to war, okay? Read The Art of War by Sun Tzu and plan your exit. You don't want to go into a hot war. You want to exit safely and keep all your assets intact, okay? But yeah, like the issue is that women are deluded into thinking that men are just like them, okay? That's the delusion that I lived in when I was younger, because I wasn't exposed to that many men when I was younger. So I just assumed that, oh, because I'm a human and a man is a human, we're like the same, we have the same values, or we you know, you just subconsciously project. In reality, men think very differently. They're driven by very different things. They build self-worth very differently to women, and that's something that women need to learn and understand, so you know what you're dealing with. Stop thinking that you can change a man who's only approaching you for sex like as the priority into prioritizing something else, okay? Know that that's what his priority is, and then respond accordingly. Because anytime you try to manipulate him, or you try to give up sex sooner rather than later in order to give him what he wants, thinking that he's going to care more, like, they don't think like that, most of them. Also, I would say for, like, unsafe relationships or just any toxic relationship that you're in, I think while you're planning your exit, it's also really important to find ways to start changing your mindset about yourself and your self-concept. If you're working on that at the same time as planning your exit, it will be much easier to leave, and it will not be as easy for them to manipulate you to stay, okay? Because if you're just thinking that it's going to take one day you walking out the door and like never walking back in, the reason why you would ever walk back in is because you can still be manipulated, okay? So you haven't changed your self-concept, you haven't changed or understood the boundaries that they cross, you haven't reflected deeply enough into the parts of yourself that this person is able to take a hold of, you know? So starting to dive into that, I think, is really important as well in any situation, you know, even if it's, pardon me, work, friendship, romance, family. Giving it up early makes them just disrespect and eventually hate you. Probably, yeah. Like, again, another thing is that so much dating advice is still so centered around being in a long-term relationship or like dating for marriage. And it's like, why are we even centering being in a long-term commitment with men in general anyway? I'm not saying that just because you're in a long-term relationship with a man, it's not going to be good. But I'm just saying that most of the time, it's not working in women's favor. So rather than giving people advice on how to be in a relationship with a man, like, why don't you give them advice on how to develop self-worth and a life philosophy or a way of life or a lifestyle that doesn't require a relationship with a man as some kind of end goal to being happy? Because you can actually be happy without being in a relationship with a man. In fact, you would be happier if you weren't in a relationship with a man. So why is that still the goal? That is what confuses me the most. Because I don't think I give dating advice, because I don't date. Like, it's never been a priority of mine to date. I'm open to it every now and then, but it's not something I go out of my way to entertain. Even though I use dating dynamics as a framework, I'm not saying that the end goal is for you to get a boyfriend, okay? You might get a boyfriend as a result of changing your self-concept and becoming more self-empowered, you know? But I don't think that that's the reason why you should do anything in your life, because your standard as a woman is always going to be higher than a man's, okay? You meet your own standard, I guarantee you've exceeded most average male expectations and standards. Loving the podcast and you. Oh, thank you. A relationship wouldn't work anyways if you did not check in with yourself. Yes. That's why you're being so helpful and trying to women who follow your account. Thank you. Yeah, like, it's okay if people don't relate to what I'm saying or if it doesn't help them, because I don't think I have like a point of view that's going to change the masses, okay? I just share the things that I observe, that I learn, that I practice from my experience, from my research, from my reading. And, you know, maybe it helps some people, maybe it doesn't. It's okay. But like, I practice what I preach. So I'm happy with my life for the most part. Can't complain. So if there's nothing about me that you relate to or that's interesting to you, I really don't give a fuck, you know? Like, the incel guy that stitched one of my videos without tagging me, being like, I don't understand what you're saying, but like, let me help you. And it's like, I don't want your help or your approval. Who are you? I did a lot of work and built myself up before meeting a great man. Love that for you. Iconic. Figures like this around us and always pave the way. Thank you. You've opened my eyes. I love all your videos and podcasts. Thank you! Your videos really helped me when I was down bad. It's okay. It's a canon event, you know? Your self-esteem and your self-concept is so much stronger and unshakable when you've been down bad and picked yourself up and rebuilt who you are, rather than just like running around in circles in the dirt. Don't let men smile for free, okay? Even men tell you that, you know? One of my guy friends, I was telling him about this guy that was messaging me, and he was like, every time you message that guy, he smiles. So think about that. If he's not paying for your flight, if he's not blah, 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 blah. And I was like, you're right. Will you explain nightlife to a daytime girl? Okay, what do you want to know about nightlife? I mean, the thing is like, I love DJing more than I love partying. I think if I didn't DJ, I don't actually know if I would party. So that's one thing. But I love partying as a result of being able to DJ. You know what I mean? Like, I only go to things that I'm not DJing at if I'm supporting friends. But I guess recently I've been making an effort to like go to more concerts and live gigs, but I don't really like clubbing. Also, I'm in like more underground spaces, like underground clubs versus bottle service clubs. Like, I can play a bottle service gig, but that's not really like the reason why I DJ. It's about the music, the vibes, the environment, so much more than the alcohol clubbing. Yeah, and I don't drink. Like, I drink maybe once a month and not at the club, like at a bar. I really don't enjoy alcohol, to be honest. Like, if I could just not drink at all, I wouldn't. But I think that sometimes, you know, there's always people visiting. And every now and then I don't mind a cocktail. But I wish that every cocktail was a mocktail. But some bars just don't have that many mocktail options. I don't know. I want to pretend that I'm like grown up sometimes and like, oh, I love a martini, love an old fashioned. One time I drank wine at dinner, then I had a martini and an old fashioned, and I threw up when I got home. But yeah, dancing is fun, music is fun. I've met a lot of really great people as a result of being in the club, so that I'm grateful for, directly and indirectly through DJing as well, whether that's in the club or otherwise. So I really believe that like my lifestyle is fated for my personality because I'm very introverted naturally, and I feel like if it wasn't for DJing, I would not have learnt social skills. I wouldn't have learnt to get out of my comfort zone. I wouldn't have been forced to go outside. Like, I feel very lucky that I can do something that still feels like a hobby to me, you know, as my job. Would you ever date another DJ? Probably not. I have dated DJs before. It's not for me, babe. It's just not for me. Yeah, male DJs. Have you guys dated a DJ before? Let me know about your experience. First date tips. Are you the guy or the girl? I've dated 2 male DJs. And never again. It's hell. Is Shanghai easy to navigate for female solo travelers? Any tips for first-time visitors? Okay. I feel like yes, because Shanghai is very safe. I feel very safe in Shanghai. All the other girls that I know that live here feel very safe here. Like, I can ride home on a share bike from the club 3 a.m, 4 a.m, 5 a.m, 6 a.m and be okay. I've dropped my phone on the street before and had one guy be like, ma'am, your phone. And then another guy like run up and grab the phone and hand it back to me. And I'm hearing about my friends going to London and getting their phone snatched out of their hand like within 5 hours of landing. So it's definitely very safe. I think tips would be make sure you download Alipay, you download WeChat, you connect your cards to both of those platforms for payment, because like you don't really need cash, but maybe have like 100 or 200 RMB in your wallet just in case. But I'm telling you, I literally can't remember the last time I used money to pay for something. And then yeah, I feel like Shanghai is such a nice place to just like chill. You can like window shop a lot, go to cute cafes, go to cute restaurants, go to parties, talk to random people, add people's WeChat, whatever, you know, be discerning, be safe. But I feel like Shanghai is a great city to do solo travel. I know one male DJ, he has 3 baby mamas and 4 kids. He's 23. Oh my God. I dated a DJ, graphic designer, marketing dude. Oh my God. Did he identify as an entrepreneur too? I'm gagged. Okay, so if you're a girl on your first date, I'm obviously not in a long-term relationship, so and I don't go into dating with that as my end goal. I feel like anytime I've been in a relationship with a man, it's been like by accident that I agreed to it. And my like goal for dating and life in general is to be hot and have fun. So if I'm gonna be dating a dude, then I want him to, like, you know, I just want it to be fun, and I want to position myself to be seen as a human being. I think you can't date the male counterpart of your profession because they're always pretentious and know better because they're male. They only think they know better. They don't actually know better. I've never met a guy in my life that knows better than me. Exactly. Men are definitely delusional, yes. They hated you were better and smarter. Yeah. Would do it for networking and stealing contacts. Lol, success comes first. Yeah, and even then, like, I've ended up giving the guys opportunities and not the other way around. You know what I mean? So it's just like, men give women opportunities, not the other way around. Don't ever, like, date someone on your profession and then put yourself in a position where, like, you're his boss. Because I've done that before. Did not end well. And then I was like, oh, I should have just done this myself. Why did I hire you? Why did I give you an opportunity? First dates, I tend to set the bar extremely low going in, okay? So I don't do, like, too much makeup. I try to look because I want them to be like, oh, this is what you look like, okay? Not like glam. I don't believe in, like, glam and, like, I don't know this man, so why am I going to put in a shitload of effort for him? You know, we're going on a date, we're getting to know each other, so get to know me as a person. Put in effort, but don't put in too much effort. Don't put in more effort than this man deserves, okay? And, you know, just be flirty, have fun, ask him questions, get him to run his mouth, okay? And you just, oh, that's really interesting. Like, most men don't care what you have to say when it comes to a romantic context, especially at the beginning stages. So suss him out as much as you can and just have fun with it. I want to have fun if I'm going on a date with a man, but I just don't think, out of all the different ways that I could spend my time, going on a date with a man is literally the least interesting. So even when they ask me out, I'm like, okay, you figure it out, babe. And if they can't figure it out, I don't give a fuck. It's so easy to organize hangouts with my friends. Who's free this weekend? Blah, blah, blah. Let's do this. Okay, meet here at this time. But, like, my gay friend cooked, like, a 3-course meal for my friend and I the other day. He was just like, which day should we do? This date or this date? This date or that date? Okay, let's do this date. Okay, 7:30. This is what's going to be on the menu. Blah, blah, blah. Here's the address. See you then. I bought some berries for dessert. My friend brought some cookies, and we had a great, grand old time, you know? So if a man is hitting you up regularly, I want to take you out, should we get a drink? When are you free? Oh, what about this? Ugh. It's so low effort from men. I've been to fancy restaurants with my girls. Men will say, let's go get ice cream. Yeah. Like, if you really don't know each other and it's like meeting on a dating app situation, I think a low effort powwow meet and greet for the first, it's not even the first date, it's like the pre-first date meeting to see if you want to actually go on a first date. Low-key vibe check, initially good. Saves the nerves on both sides, yes. But yeah, just be hot and have fun. Like, don't take men too seriously. That's the key, you know? Like, I get hit up by all kinds of dudes for all kinds of reasons, and I just don't take it too seriously. And, like, be a little cheeky, be a little sassy. I think a lot of them aren't really used to that, but they're also very attracted and intrigued by that kind of behavior. And I'm not saying that's necessarily going to get you into, like, a long-term relationship with them, but it is just going to make your interactions with them a lot less stressful for you, more fun in general for both of you. And because I've had girls message me like, oh, like, this guy keeps saying things that are inappropriate, like, and we keep getting into fights. And I'm like, you don't come at someone at the level that they're at, okay? You need to come from different angles so that their stagnancy becomes buoyant, okay? Like, that's kind of like the energy that I'm looking for in all of my relationships, like buoyancy. I don't want to be friends with people, or I don't want to have conversations that are like static, where someone's like digging their heels in on their position and I'm trying to like pull them out, okay? It's like, we're dancing, okay? We're vibing, we're bouncing. So even if a guy is pissing you off, still don't be angry. Either you cut them off entirely, okay, no longer they don't have access anymore, or you're just cheeky, okay? So remind them that you are centered in who you are, you know what you want and what you're about, and if they play about, they're gonna get cut out, okay? Ex-friends are talking shit, painting me as a villain behind my back. How do I deal with this? You just live your best life and you pretend that you don't know anything. You don't know them, you don't hear what they're saying, you don't give a fuck. Stand your ground, girl. Don't stoop to their level. It's hard, okay? But that's why silence and stoicism is so highly valued and respected in a person, okay? Because it takes self-control to be able to manage your emotions and to manage your ego and to stand your ground and to refuse to stoop to someone's level no matter how hard they try to drag you down, okay? You lose as soon as you are reactive because that's what they want, okay? They're not going to tell you that that's what they want, but that's what they're trying to do. I've dealt with this shit so many times in my life. You just ignore. And they'll always come crawling back. They'll lose steam. They'll get bored. They'll find someone else to piss off. Just live your best life. Do you stress about money? A single woman, my future worries me. Yes. Well, I try not to spend too much time stressing about it, but like the feeling of this stress is like normal, I think, but I just don't want to get in too deep to that stress, you know. Notice the stress, but when you realize that stress is only productive in like very small quantities, you know, on a day-to-day basis, a little bit of stress can get you moving, but like a little more than that and now you risk being paralyzed or you risk clouding your judgment, okay? So remind yourself that being stressed for no reason or about things that you don't really have that much control over, because like the stress about money is like, do I have enough money? When am I going to get paid for this? Blah, blah, blah. Like either you have something that you can do about it right now or you're stressing for no reason. Trying to stay on top of beauty standards but wanting to save money. Okay. My thing about beauty standards and like putting effort into your appearance, obviously I'm shallow and I want to look good and I want to feel good. But I'm also very adamant about the fact that it's not just about how much money you spend. It's about like a lifestyle and the amount of effort that you have. Like do things that are, there's no benefit to going over your budget to maintain or to uphold beauty standards like long term, you know? For example, I don't think that lip gloss should cost $40 US, okay? In my opinion, a $10 lip gloss and a $40 lip gloss pretty much do the same thing. So I'm not going to go out of my way to spend $40 on a lip gloss just because it's like trending, just because a bunch of influencers have it too. Like I still use for the most part the same like very affordable lip gloss. I just use clear lip gloss. Okay, I've been gifted like other products, but most of my lip gloss is just clear, and then I have like different shades of liner or like lip tint. So like in total all of my lip products are probably worth like $50 rather than I have many $50 lip glosses. And then skincare doesn't have to be that complicated either. You need an oil cleanser, a gel, foam or milk cleanser, toner. I just use Iranian rose water that I buy in bulk, an active or a serum that you can rotate. If I buy actives, I usually buy like CeraVe or The Ordinary. Moisturizer, oil, jojoba oil, almond oil, camellia leaf oil. You can buy that in a big bottle and it will last you like a year. So aloe vera, you know, though I try not to like overly spend. Yes, you can uphold beauty standards. Yeah, and it's not even about like upholding beauty standards. It's like maintaining your appearance. Looking good because you want to look good. Oh my God, I just thought someone's knocking on my door. Because it's not about, to me, it's not about upholding beauty standards. It's about looking your best, okay? Working with what you've got, enhancing your natural beauty, not, okay, this is what I have to look like in order to be beautiful. It's like, no, how can I feel good in my body and then that be an extension of how I look? You know, like, you can fit the beauty standard and still have rancid energy about you, okay? You could be objectively beautiful but still be ugly as fuck on the inside. So for me, it's like a two-way thing of like, how can I have practices in my life that ensure that I feel good, okay? Because if you feel good, you will naturally look good. Even when you don't look good, you're still presenting yourself with great energy, okay? That's what we want, in my opinion. Some things are expensive but can have max effect. Hair gloss, amazing. Learn to do your own nails too. Yes, the hair effect. I got one lip tint and that's my blush and sometimes even eyeshadow. Yes, multi-purpose. Literally get the bare minimum to look fresh. Yes. Coconut oil pulling for your teeth. Yes. TikTok consumerism is a bit too crazy. It's way too crazy. La Roche-Posay Cicaplast. Yes. Yes, yes, yes. That's a great product too. Yeah, just rose water by itself. I'll show you. I put it in this mister. Sometimes when I wake up in the morning, I just mist my face a lot and then use a cotton pad and wipe it and then moisturize. I have this giant aloe vera and this is like tea leaf oil, but you could use like jojoba oil. And this is my last step in my skincare. I mean, my skin's pretty fucked now because I've eaten a lot of chili and not slept for like the past 3 weeks. But this is my last step. If I was like trying to purge my skin or just trying to really simplify my skincare routine, I would literally just use the rose water and these 3 products and it would be fine. And then also I put this on, I mix this and use it as a hair mask like every now and then. I did it the other day when I got back from Xi'an because my scalp was like so dry. I'd been on like 6 flights or something. Okay, other things is like, I don't have Botox or filler, but I try to do like facial massage, body massage, you know, do morning stretch, YouTube Pilates, pole dance, whatever. Like, even when it comes to working out, I feel like a huge thing for me was during the pandemic, my mental health was so gagged, so fucked. I was like, you know what? I guess you're just gonna have to get into exercise, babe. You need endorphins. And I got really into like Chloe Ting. I don't do Chloe Ting workouts anymore. Thank you for the gift. But her calendar was really great to just get me to do it every day or like to have a schedule. Once I got into the habit of like working out on my own, being able to have discipline around it, and it's free, it's YouTube, like it's literally free. You don't want to watch ads, get an ad blocker extension. And then I started spending money, like, okay, now I'm going to try Pilates class, now to pole dance, and I've been doing pole dance for like almost 4 years now. Clothes, invest in good classic designs, yes. I don't get that many skin treatments. I'm in dire need of one right now, but it's a national holiday. I'm going to get one next week, hopefully. Usually I just get like a hydrofacial. Super milk leave-in conditioner, $30. Smell is delicious. Okay, I'm gonna try. We all went through the Chloe Ting phase. Yes. Gonna start working out too. I bought weights to strength train. Love that. You don't even need a yoga mat. Learning to do things like at the lowest possible budget really teaches you the value of self-discipline. Because I think that like consumerist capitalist society tries to make you feel like you can only improve your life, you can only be a better person, you can only have value as a result of the things that you acquire. Like if I have a designer workout outfit, this particular brand of like this or that, but actually you don't need that much stuff to slay, okay? Everything else is just extra, but learning to do things on your own and like at the lowest possible budget, even if you have the money to spend on it, I think is like really powerful and radical practice, you know? Yes, going for a walk is enough. And also a discount sale. I believe in waiting for a sale. Yes, there's always sales. You never know where something that you want is going to pop up. And even if it doesn't pop up, there's going to be something else that you want, you know? I've had glasses from Cotton On in Australia with everyone. Yeah. When I was younger, I would buy clothes from Supre and people would be like, oh my God, where's your outfit from? Your attitude is the best accessory, okay? It's not what you wear, it's how you wear it. Lots of people wearing designer clothes looking absolutely shit. There's no need, okay? Try not to overconsume. You can find great stuff from cheap prices, yes. Can a relationship with a toxic parent ever improve? I think it can. I've seen it happen. You just have to stick to grey rocking, living your authentic truth, your being authentic. Other people's inauthenticity kind of like, on a subconscious level, they know either they level up or like it's either sink or swim for them, you know, because you're always moving along with your authenticity. They're stuck in whatever their thing is. It's sink or swim for them. I'm not saying that every relationship can improve, but it definitely can. I experienced that in my family. I saw my mom experience it with her parents, but you can't think of it as like a conflict, okay? Even though it feels like that, when you come at it from more of a collaborative point of view, that's when I think you can make the most progress. Boundaries, yes. Distance at first, and then let them try to crawl back. I love DJ stuff. I feel like you're just your authentic self, so they're all themes. Love you. Oh, thank you. I just don't know what to post about DJing because the club is so dark, you know. My favorite movies are The Devil Wears Prada, Ex Machina, Marie Antoinette, Sofia Coppola, this version. Gone Girl. Please send me movie recommendations. I watched Blink twice the other week. Holy fuck. Zoe Kravitz is a very, very brave woman. Blink twice. Huge trigger warning before you watch it. Very violent. Abuse scenes. Not crazy violent, but like I wasn't really prepared for it. Basically, to me, I'm like, oh, so did I just watch a documentary about Epstein and P. Diddy? That's the vibe. Okay, so my thing with friendship vetting is that sometimes you just don't really know till you know who someone is, you know? So I've had a lot of friendship breakups. I always try to give people the benefit of the doubt and see the best in others. It's like my best and worst trait, I guess. But what I've learned in the past is like, I don't need to start seeing the worst in people just because someone that I saw the best in did me dirty, okay? Because I've been really lucky to foster really amazing friendships as a result of giving people the benefit of the doubt and being open to exploring a friendship with them. So there's that. You read experience, you can observe how they act. Acting when something good, how they act when something good happens to you, really important. So rare for people to be selflessly happy for others, yes. Or if something good happens to someone else, yes. I think people show you who they are and you should trust it when they do, yes. Very important. Like, give people the space to be who they are. Like, I personally do not believe in telling people like, I need you to do this in order for this to work. I need you to do this in order for this to work. Like, kind of like a mini ultimatum, because people are the way that they are, and like, you don't want conditions put on your behavior and your relationship with people either. So showing up authentically as you are, and then giving someone the space to do that in return. Like for me, every time I've gone through a friend breakup, I'll be disappointed that, you know, someone that I care about and I are no longer compatible, but I'm never like regretful of anything, because I'm like, it's very obvious who I am as a person, okay? Like, if you have a problem with that, that's fine, because I have other people in my life that appreciate me for who I am. If that's not compatible with who you are, I actually don't take that personally. I don't take offense to that at all. I have a problem when I'm able to accept you and you feel entitled to that but then you can't do that for me in return, that I take issue with. I don't want to be friends with someone like that, you know? Yeah, the trash takes itself out. Reminds me of the saying, people are here for a reason or a season. Yes. Yeah, if you've got an issue, maybe you're just not right for them, and vice versa. Yes. For me, it was my main friend group. They talked behind my back and lied about me. You deserve better. The trash takes itself out, and every friend breakup leads to space for better quality friendships. If you give yourself, if you're like considerate about reflecting back on like red flags that you missed and being a little bit more discerning with the next person that you meet, right? Do you have personal standards others would probably find unreasonable? I don't know. Like, even wanting to be in a mutually beneficial relationship, that is a standard for me. A lot of people have a problem with that standard. Like, to me, I don't think that's unreasonable at all. You're getting something from me, why can't I also think about what I'm getting from you? But there's so many people who only think about relationships as a one-sided thing, and everything is about what they can extract and never about what they can contribute. So that's always been like the straw that's broken the camel's back in most of my friend breakups. When I found out they didn't even care or apologize, I was like, oh well, sorry guys. Yeah, like, apologies are overrated. Most of the time people only apologize because they got caught and they want to manipulate you back into access, back into things being the way they were before, rather than actually changing their behavior or changing their point of view to become more compatible and like healthier. A friend brags about her hoe phase, but whenever I've mentioned a man platonically, I'm guessing she gets jealous because I've had that happen with other girls. Any new music recs lately? My Demure and Delusional Autumn playlist on Spotify is the music I've been listening to over the last 2 months. Do you guys feel that friendship breakups hurt so much worse than the romantic ones? I think that they can a lot of the time. Like, I think I've had so many ruptures in like friend dynamics through my Saturn return. Like, going back to Perth, being stuck there, coming back to Shanghai, dealing with all that shit. The first 2 years of being back, it was just like so many moving parts. I don't have the emotional capacity to be dating because I'm dealing with like falling outs in friendships that I really cared about, that I was really invested in. So I feel like heartbreak in that sense has worn me down. And I'm going through another shift now as well, which is crazy. You changed my life. I love you so much. Love you! I was seeing a guy for 2 months, called him halfway through a European holiday. Told me I needed commitment after waiting for him in Perth. I just saw the High Valley Man video. I think I disagree on this one. Okay. You don't have to agree. It's okay. I'm probably going to change my mind at some point too. It's just a thought that I had. I feel so dumb afterwards, but when you love people, sometimes you ignore things. Yeah. That's all right. You're only human. I don't think that life is about avoiding pain or avoiding heartbreak or mistakes. It's just about improving the way that you respond, you know? And I think a lot of questions are always framed from like, so how can I never have my heart broken again? How can I never experience a friend breakup again? How can I never make a mistake or embarrass myself ever again? But it's not really about that. Like, you will make mistakes, you will embarrass yourself, but your ability to pick yourself up is going to improve with self-awareness and with different like grounding practices and improving your self-concept, you know? That's how I think about it. I can't even focus on boys after that. I just had to cut off my girls. Yes. Sending you love for those rough moments. Thank you. Said he wanted to have fun in Europe. We would be in a relationship when he was back. I ended it. No, you're not being unreasonable. You want what you want, girl. And why do you even want to be in a relationship with him anyway? That's a real question. I couldn't focus on boys, yes. Everything happens for a reason, you'll find better people, yes. So sad we planned our future together, being each other's bridesmaids. Yeah, that's sad. I think also, like, yeah, living in the moment is really important. I try not to make long-term plans or promises with people anymore, especially because for me, like, and my lifestyle and my work, it's so unpredictable. Like, I'll think that I have a free month and then suddenly it's the busiest month of my life. So I always try to tell people, like, yes, I'm so down to do this kind of thing when we have time, blah, blah, blah. Like, but it's easy to get really emotionally attached to a fantasy that you've created in your mind about some future date. And then when reality catches up to you and time actually unfolds and things change, that's when you kind of set yourself up for unnecessary disappointment, you know? Is a common denominator in those friendships no longer being in the same city? No, it's definitely hasn't been that. Thank you! Game recognized game. Trying to learn how to sit in emotional discomfort rather than avoiding negative emotions altogether. Yeah. I was like crying. I was looking at my phone last night like, because I'm a week before my period and I just felt like so overwhelmed, like physically, emotionally. And it wasn't just negative emotions either, but like gratitude, joy, disappointment, anxiety, like everything. I was like, with my crying pillow. And today I'm doing much better. So I think if I was trying to avoid those feelings, it could have dragged out for like a week, okay, or a month. Or like, you know, when I was younger, I didn't know up from down. Like I was so depressed most of the time. But now I'm just like, journal, write down things you're grateful for, keep it moving. Self-respect comes first. I love having friends, but not when they're dragging me down, shaming me. Exactly. A silly question, how do you practice? Basically, stoicism, being unbothered, you have to use up all of your energy on things that you care about, you know? When you do that, you realize you don't have energy to give a fuck about what other people think, okay? You've got other things to worry about. And the issue is that a lot of the times you're just conditioned to think like, okay, I'm working or I'm studying and I have like a friend and I've got something to do on the weekend and that's just all I have to do with my life. But actually, there are so many things that you could be doing with your time and energy if you're feeling like you care about other people and what they think. That means you have energy that's not being directed to yourself. And you need to figure out how to harness that energy and do whatever, okay? Like, I have over 100 podcast episodes. I literally just make them because I have the thoughts and the time and energy. It's not a priority for me to like turn that into a job. I just do it because I can. Like all of my TikTok content, I just do it because I can. I do it in my free time. I have many other jobs that pay me, many other places to be and things to do, but I don't give a fuck what people think because I spend all my time and energy doing things that I enjoy, doing things that I feel like contribute positively to the world. Like when I've been through friend breakups with people that are like, it's your opinion that's really triggering. And I'm like, notice how what I said that you're triggered about is not even about you. Like you've turned it into a personal issue and I don't know what I can do to like not be opinionated because literally everything about me screams, oh, this bitch likes to talk, okay? Oh, this bitch likes to think. So the fact that like someone that I've known for like 3-5 years or whatever is like confused about that, it's like, okay, we just aren't compatible. And it's disappointing, but it's like, I can't care about that because I've been able to foster like so many meaningful connections, relationships, spaces as a result of actually being intentional with my time and my energy. I don't give a fuck. How do I figure out which rooms I want to be in? Go into as many rooms as you can, figure out which ones you don't like. Yes, I hope everything works out for everyone. Period. Thank you. Being able to sit with your emotions, letting yourself feel them, realize you that there's the other side to how you're feeling right now. Exactly. You'll go through spiritual awakenings every 3 years. Turning 31 in December. You're amazing. Game recognized game. I kind of ended up giving up on friendships. I can't deal with the drama anymore. In reality, you only need like 2 to 3 friends in your close circle at a time, you know. Sometimes you're a little more closer to this friend, a little more closer to that friend, a little more closer to somebody else, and it just kind of rotates. Like, don't feel like it has to be a static thing. Yes, it's important to embrace all emotions, not let it rule your life. Yeah, I mean, I think Stoicism was created by a straight man, so you don't have to take everything that they say as gospel, just whatever applies. I think like big friend groups are kind of overrated anyway. People are so messy. It was created by a straight man. I read the book. I was so annoyed. Yes, like quality over quantity in friendships. Yes. You're 35. That's slay, girl. Never assume you've peaked, okay? People could be jealous of your passion and the way you articulate yourself. Then they project when they see you making an effort. Yes. That's really how it is sometimes. Do you have more friendship groups or one-on-one friends? I think that I'm definitely more of a one-on-one friend. A lot of shifts happening in my social circle at the moment. It's interesting. Gotta go pick up a girlfriend in need. Thank you for joining. I hope your girlfriend gets through whatever she's going through. She's lucky to have you. Women must live in community with each other. All I want is genuine sisterhood, still trying to open my heart to her fully without being scared. It's okay, like, not everything lasts forever. Of course, I want my healthy relationships to last forever, but I don't know. And also, like, life will kind of surprise you. A lot of the people that I've become really close to, I didn't expect to become that close to, you know. And then a lot of the people that I felt like, oh my God, these are my people, turned out to be snakes. So they were my ops. But I think what I've learned is, like, I've learned a lot from friend breakups, because it can put you in a position where you're like, oh, so do I just have to completely change who I am and like not like do the things that I want to do, or like treat others the way that I want to be treated. And I thought that it would turn me into like a really bitter and guarded person, but it actually taught me to like embrace those parts of me more, because I recognize the ways that it's worked in my favor, and that outweighs the times that it hasn't, okay? And the times that it hasn't worked in my favor, it's still been in my favor, because then it just makes room for people that actually accept me and appreciate me, and we mutually respect each other. Those people will enter my life when the people that can't do that exit. You know what I mean? Everything takes time. Nothing is as instant as you think it is. That's the illusion of capitalist consumerism, that anything is overnight. Nothing is overnight, even when it looks like it's overnight. That's not how nature works. Can't force people to stay. People have free will. They can up and leave whenever. Exactly. And that applies to all facets of life. And rather than trying to avoid the possibility of that, learning how to protect yourself is important. Learning to respond in a healthy and sustainable way is important, but that's fundamentally different to assuming that you need to avoid that possibility altogether. You just never know, you know? The pandemic taught me that on a extreme level. Like, I had the beginning of my 2020 was booked with like really big jobs for me at the time. I'd like hustled for almost 2 years in Shanghai, fresh out of uni, and was able to start working freelance. And then I got stuck in Perth and like couldn't complete any of the jobs that I had planned. Like, and I remember 2019, 2020 New Year's Eve, we're all like, 2020 vision is going to be different. And literally my life turned to shit, okay? But I'm so grateful for the experience that I had in retrospect, because it taught me how to deal with things not going the way that I had hoped or the way that I had planned. So I have like a different type of resilience, because it was like I was broken down on an almost cellular level as a result of that. I went through like the most fucked breakup ever. I had to face all of this unaddressed trauma in my hometown that I was running away from for the last 2 years on a subconscious level. Couldn't do the work that I wanted to do, wasn't around any of my friends. Like, it was such an isolating experience. But I did everything that I could to like rebuild my sense of self. And, you know, I started my podcast, I started content on TikTok. I have like a much deeper understanding of my own psychology. I have a deeper understanding of like human behavior and relationships in general. And I have a much deeper connection with my mom as well, because I'd never spent that much time with her before. So even though like on a superficial like career level, it was like devastating, on a personal spiritual level, I wouldn't have been able to have that time if I was just living in Shanghai and working as per normal. Because in Shanghai, before the lockdown in 2022, everyone was making crazy ass bank in China, okay, because everywhere else was locked up. So I was still doing like consulting jobs, and they were like, what's happening in China? It's the only place that can spend money because they're the only place managing the pandemic. Like, I learned so much from that period. And then when I came back to Shanghai in 2022, because I had developed all this discipline around self-care and grounding, that was such an overwhelming time as well, and isolating in a totally different way, because even though now I was surrounded by more people, I was the only person that was like excited to be in China because everybody else had just come out of a lockdown. So then I had to manage that as well. So I feel like, you know, you don't realize how really difficult experiences could be working in your favor. And it's really important that you learn to adjust your thinking so that you can pull yourself out of it, so that you can recognize like what the lesson in each situation is, you know? It doesn't mean that it's not hard. It doesn't mean that it's not uncomfortable. It doesn't mean that you don't want to cry and throw up every day. But I feel like when I look for the lesson in things, I look for, okay, not even looking, it's just like being open, creating space in my mind for like, I'm not going to be, I don't know right now why this is happening, but one day I will understand. You know, one day it's going to make sense. One day I'll look back and I'll be grateful for this happening, even though it's like so fucked now. And obviously there are some things in life that you literally can't do that with, okay? Like it's too fucked for comprehension. But I'm just saying, like, when it comes to breakups, when it comes to stuff with your job, you just never know how you're being set up, okay? And if you want to build something new, you do have to demolish something old, you know, like your new life is going to cost your old one. I guess that's a good quote. So many applied facts need this pep talk on the daily. Listen to the podcast, yay! We're all relating right now. It's all validated, yes. I should be taking notes. Had enough time to ground yourself and embodied your own power, yes. Yeah, it's like, you know, the dynamics are actually the same. The way that you feel and the way that things play out, that core level is usually very similar. The details, they can be interchangeable. So that's why it's like when girls are like, well, what if he messaged me this? But what if he says he's sorry? And it's like, it doesn't matter because he's disrespected you. You've given someone, a friend, a family member, a lover, a co-worker, a boss, you on some level know that you've given more than you've received, and that has been disrespected or that has been not reciprocated. That dynamic is the same across the board, okay? And then how you respond is going to be up to you. There's a messy way to do it. There's a clean-cut way to do it. There's a mindful, demure way to do it. Pick what type of person you want to be. Your videos helped me leave my husband and get through and grow through my legal separation, yeah. Proud of you. Men show and treat us how they expect we are to be treated, but no, sister girl, it's our rules. Exactly. You hold the most important card of all, okay? Access to the cookie, to put it bluntly. So it's twofold: taking ownership of your femininity, of your sexuality, and not in this dress feminine way, look feminine way. Taking ownership of your sexuality and your femininity for me is being able to connect to your body, your sensuality, your sexuality, like in small areas of your life, being intentional with the way that you make your food, the way that you make a tea in the morning, the way that you arrange your room, the way that you arrange your things, taking pleasure in the way that you dress, in the time that you spend with others, rotting on the couch. This is still a work in progress for me because I'm not like the most organized person, but that connecting to your body, I always talk about how pole dance has been like a radical practice for me. Pole dance and dance classes, I think, are so important. I think men and women, if you're getting in touch with your sexuality, your femininity, your masculinity, starting point is women doing dance classes, men doing combat sports, then women doing combat sports and men doing dance classes. That's how you integrate the femininity and the masculinity within you. And with pole dance, for me, it's like you're in a room with the girls, you're all there to learn. Everyone's supportive, no judgment. It's okay if you don't get the move. It's okay if you can't do it, because everybody knows that you start from zero when you do pole. Even if you're like jacked, okay, it's still a learning curve. So everyone's like, it's fine if you don't get it, blah, blah, blah. You're able to do sexy dances, cute music, cute outfit. You're building strength, building flexibility, building coordination, and you're getting in tune with your femininity and your body and your sexuality. No man is present, okay? You don't have to open your legs for anybody. And that has been so radical. Like I tell people who DM me about pole dance, I'm like, it's more interesting for me to go to a pole dance class than it is for me to go on a date with a man. So I will prioritize, it's like my non-negotiable hobby. I will prioritize going to pole dance over everything else in my life. Obviously, every now and then, exacerbating extraneous, whatever the fuck circumstances apply, and I'm traveling or I've got a work thing, whatever. But for the most part, like 90% of the time, pole is prioritized. Suddenly men are not interesting. Have you ever dealt with, okay, so like don't get defensive, don't let it trigger you. It might trigger you internally, but don't let them see that you're triggered, okay? Get your money and go. You do not need to normalize being mistreated by people that you work with or by people in your life in general. It's normal that you will come across people that will try to do that and try to get away with it and try to get access to you or be entitled to you and your time and your energy and the value that you provide. But you don't have to normalize that as like part of your day-to-day life, okay? There are some situations where you have to suck it up in service of the bag, in service of the portfolio job, whatever. But don't normalize being treated that way, okay? And if you feel that you have normalized it, change your perspective, change the way that you respond, and come up with a exit plan where you can still get everything you want. Like my friend, she did deal with like a full-time job where she had a dismissive manager, and she said that she played the long game when she was like dismissed or whatever. Like she made sure that she got a good reference. Don't blow up, don't make a scene. That's what men do. That's a very toxic masculine way to respond to something. Use your femininity, use feminine energy to your benefit, okay? Your patience is a superpower as a woman, because a lot of men and a lot of people who are not emotionally regulated, like a lot of women in society now, are also operating too much from the masculine, and toxic masculinity comes out in women too when they get reactive, when they get aggressive. So your superpower is the thing that other people generally struggle to harness. Patience, long-term planning, emotional regulation, being able to alchemize your anxiety and your anger into creative energy, into motivation. Don't let people see you sweat, okay? Have more pride than that. Embodying femininity, pole dancing classes, yoga, Pilates. Yes. When a woman is connected to physical and emotional, they flow so much more. Weirdly, I have found that men advocated more for me in the workplace than women in power. Yeah, women can get jealous. Like, I've been very lucky to work with great men as well as great women, okay? And I've dealt with a lot of shitty men and I've dealt with a lot of shitty women too. At the end of the day, it is a human thing, but there is a very specific experience that you have as a woman, which also needs to be discussed and understood and developed and progressed in. Yeah. A man that has worked for his position has nothing to lose advocating for a woman. Men that are insecure in their position, they get dismissive, they get jealous as well, you know? Pussy, but the toxic kind of pussy, not the strong kind. That's toxicity in their feminine coming out when they get jealous like that. Like, nobody prepared me for the one-sided beef women double my age would have with me at work. Oh my God, that must be fucking hard. Haven't really experienced that. Touch wood. Because there aren't that many, like, older women in my field of work. I have met women in, like, the generation of DJ above me before, and it's been disappointing, but that's okay. We don't, like, really have that much crossover. My ex-friends ever came back for confronting or just sent a text, how could I respond? Would ignore and be better, especially since they've been petty. Yeah, I would just ignore. That's what I always do. If I see people in public, I'll be like, hi. But if you don't want anything to do with them, there's no point. If there's nothing for you to gain materially, socially, financially, leave. I failed to ignore and I regret it now. Yeah. It's easy to, like, overinflate the value that someone could potentially bring to your life when you care about them, when you have history with them, in spite of the fact that they disrespect you. But, like, once you've practiced setting your boundaries and feeling good about it, and, like, you've set standards for yourself in your life and you live by it, and you can appreciate the things that are good in your life that have come from that, you realize that people that do that actually don't have value to bring to your life, because how could someone who doesn't appreciate you add value? You know what I mean? And that can be a really difficult thing to work through mentally sometimes. But, like, I've been through so much shit since I've come back to Shanghai. Like, I don't feel sorry for myself, but I was like, holy fuck, I didn't know that it was going to get that complicated. Because when I was in Perth for that, like, 2.5 years over the pandemic, I had barely any social interaction. Like, I was just with my mom most of the time, and we don't even, like, speak to each other when we're in the house. We're off doing our own thing. I would go to the post office a few times a week, speak to the barista at the cafe next door. That was an old Filipino lady. The guys that worked at the post office were Chinese, and we would just talk about how I was going to get out of the country. I would see one friend a week, maybe a second friend. And then I came back to Shanghai, and it was just like, oh my God, there's people coming at you from every direction. I'm also freelance, don't have a manager, don't have an agent. I do everything myself, have a podcast, DJing, modeling, whatever the fuck. And there's been so many instances because I was coming back and I had to, like, rebuild my network, rebuild my portfolio. I didn't know what to, like, I was like, am I even going to be able to work when I come back? I've been away for 2 years, and I've been very, very lucky, and I'm very, very grateful for all the people that have given me opportunities. And I haven't had to ask any personal favors, which I'm also, like, proud of. But there have been so many situations where people that I'm close with, that I would consider a friend, that I've introduced to people, that I've introduced to opportunities, I've expressed interest in meeting someone or going to something, and they've tried to gatekeep it from me. And because I care about that person and we have a personal relationship, I've thought, oh, like, you know, that person is going to connect, is the thread that connects me to this other thing that I want to be able to do. So I have to tolerate this behavior in order to get what I want. But I have too much pride, okay? So I'm just like, you know what? Fuck this. I'm going to get what I want regardless. Cut that person off, or, like, don't entertain it anymore, and then what I want comes to me without even needing them. So that's the tea, okay? You have to believe you will get what you want. You just don't know how it's going to come. So anytime there's someone that's fucking with you in that process, that's evidence that you guys aren't compatible. They're not going to be the person that's going to support you into the next phase of your life, into the next thing that you want to do. And vice versa, if you were that person for someone else, okay? It's just not compatible. And that's okay. My podcast is Friend Crush with Amber Killer. Link in bio. I feel bad for women in the generation before us because they probably didn't have as much access or ability to build community because they were so, like, they were really the ones that started to break through the glass ceiling so that we could follow in their footsteps. So when you're like the first woman, you're really like fighting for your life. Like, I can't imagine what they would have had to deal with. So I understand that they're very territorial about their position and they're used to like being fucked over. Because even for me, coming as like the next generation, I'm used to getting fucked over too. But I'm lucky that there's more women that are my peers and women that are learning from me that I won't be like that. I wish that those women could feel more secure in their position and like recognize that they changed the game and they still have room to grow and to, you know, things to achieve if they're stuck in that mindset. But yeah. Proceeded to harass me through fake numbers and stuff. There he goes. Oh my God, that's so shitty. I'm sorry you had to go through that. Definitely ignore. Yeah. You defend your position by defending your happiness and your joy. Okay? That's how you defend yourself. You don't defend yourself by fighting back, in my opinion, most of the time. Sometimes you do have to fight back, but you pick and strategize, okay? But defending yourself is building yourself up into a different version, a better version of whoever they think they're fucking with, okay? Now they've got to change their strategy, but they're probably too stupid. They won't know how, and they'll give up. They come in and see you so much life, upset by it, yeah. Giving your side of the story never helps. You ended the friendship for a reason. Yes, they're trying to get the last word. Yep. Loving the discussion. What's crazy is that we just stopped talking. They left me out, expect me to reach out. That happened to me too. Get other friends. They're not your friends. Like, if you are like me and you always want to introduce people to, like, I've introduced my really good friend to their now best friend. You know, they have a relationship that's even closer than the relationship I had with the friend that I introduced to the other friend. And that's okay, because I have other friends too, you know, and like, I don't feel threatened. But it's like, I've also been in situations where I've been in like a group of 4 girls and then 3 of the girls try to socially isolate me or whatever and do their own thing without me. Okay, I'm not going to beg to hang out with people that don't want to invite me or like go out of their way to not include me. And all of them come crawling back wanting something from me, because I'm like, I don't have to gatekeep in order to have friends, okay? I have friends because I'm very generous with my time and attention with people that I have time and attention for. So like, your strategy is just fundamentally at odds with how I see friendship. Yes, my playlist is on Spotify. Just started reading 6 Pillars of Self-Esteem. Thank you for recommending it to us. Iconic book. I'm glad that you're enjoying it. And I hope that you get something out of it, because that book changed my brain chemistry. Comparing your life to others on IG, just unfollow people that trigger you. Literally that simple. It's your account. It's your following list. You can follow and unfollow whoever you want. And yes, there are going to be some people that have a problem with that, but I bet that most of the time the people that you're following and you're comparing yourself to are people that you don't even know personally. You don't owe them a follow. Period. Talking shit to everyone shows the kind of people they are too. Yeah, exactly. Forget them. Forget them! Taking notes for court. For real. Making a smear campaign against you basically is to lure you back into their drama. You responding to them. Yes, exactly. That's how sad it is. I'm trying to preserve the happy memories of our friendship. No. Remember that, like, the good and the bad go together, okay? It's not like, oh, the good was one version of them and the bad is some other version. That's all them, okay? You just weren't privy or aware of that part of them. They're just showing you that that's who they are as well, okay? And some people can hide it for a really long time, and then it comes out, and you you don't need to make excuses for people by saying, oh, that's not who they really are, or we had some good times and like this is just an anomaly. It's like that was always inside of them, okay? And it's up to you if you can accept that or not. I personally would not accept someone that's going out of their way to talk shit about me. And I don't think that you should either. Literally too old for mind games. Yeah, exactly. You've got better shit to do. I came to know the guy that's been on and off it, actually married. Fuck my life. What an L. Yeah, an L for him, honey. You're the single one with freedom, and he's the one making terrible life decisions, okay? That happened to me recently. If you listen to my podcast, to the subscriber only episodes, there was a point where I had like 2 or 3 guys that were in relationships, me having relative levels of awareness with each one. And now I'm free from all of them, thank God. It's okay, live, laugh, and love. Change was going from being sad to just angry. Yes. Whatever they show you about their character, regardless of the good, believe them. Yes. Yes. Women going their own way. Is that what that stands for? Yeah. People are crazy. Like, especially once you get out of your late 20s and into your 30s, people have like patterns of behavior, okay, and you included. Recognizing what your patterns are, recognizing what other people's patterns are, recognizing like how you might want to change your patterns, okay, if they're not working in your favor. So like if a guy is coming at me, I'm like, I know that this is how you come for every girl. Unless you're really going out of your way to make an effort with me, however you're approaching me, I know that you're doing it. I'm just assuming that you've done this 100 times, okay? And the way that someone treats their friends while you're getting to know them, that is a pattern, okay? They might be able to show you a better side of themselves at first, but at some point they're going to be like all the other people in their life, you know, and you can decide whether you accept or allow that or not. So for me, with the guy that I just had a recent friend breakup with, it wasn't surprising to me the way that he treated me. You know, at first it seemed like I was an exception to all these other people that he talks shit about all the time. But a part of me knew like, it's only a matter of time until I'm on the receiving end of this, okay? Because the weight of his patterns and like the way that your brain is wired, that will pull you down unless you're making an active effort to change those patterns, right? And same for me. We'd both discussed, I'd said like, you know, when people piss me off, when I go through friend breakups, I told him about my previous friend breakups. I'm like, I close the door and I don't open it back up, okay? Like, if I'm done with someone, I know that I've given them more grace than anybody else would. So it's a no-brainer for me to be like, goodbye, okay? I know I've given you more chances than anybody else would. So why would I, if I'm walking away, I know that I'm probably walking away for good. So that's my pattern. That's how I've treated every friend breakup I've had in recent history. His pattern, fucking up, trying to manipulate people back in, fucking up again, trying to manipulate people back in, fucking up, convincing himself that he's going to change for the right girl or whatever the fuck. And like when we weren't even in a romantic relationship, but he would talk about how when the right woman comes along, and I'm like, what makes you think the woman that can like meet all your nonsensical standards that you can't even meet will give a fuck about you? Separate conversation. Anyway, I learned a lot from that friendship. Able to mine a lot of content, you know, that was one thing that I was grateful for. But yeah, I was like, well, my pattern is I cut people off, goodbye. I'm angry for you now because I know how it feels. It will get better. Yes, it will get better. Protect your peace and your joy. You defending yourself is not you fighting. It's not you getting involved in other people's low vibrational conflict with themselves, okay? They're fighting demons in themselves. They're just projecting it onto you, okay? Defense of yourself is defense of your property, okay? Defense of your joy. Building. Don't let other people distract you from what you're trying to build, okay? That's what they're trying to do. If you sink to that, that's it. Basically, if you sink to their level, you get involved in their bullshit, you're being distracted from being the best version of you, and that's what they want, because they want you to lower yourself to their level and extract from you without giving you anything in return. You keep building what you're building. They want to fuck around in the dirt, fine. You've got infrastructure to build. You've got a house to decorate. You know, I talk about like your mental palace when I have podcast episodes about boundaries. You know, it's like, how are you defending the fence around your property? You need to repair the fence. You need to make it stronger. You need to work on your house. You can repaint the walls, you know, get a new hobby. That's like what the analogy is. You give someone enough rope and watch them. Yes. I didn't understand that saying before because I'm not someone that starts conflict with other people. I'm too lazy, okay? Like, I don't give a fuck about that shit. I'll finish a fight, but I'm not going to go out of my way to start one. Like, I've literally got better things to do. So I never really understood what it meant when people said, if you give someone enough rope, they'll hang themselves with it. But it's because people that start fights like that are motivated by their own insecurities, that are projections of their own insecurities, they don't think rationally. They're too overcome with emotion and insecurity that they just get crazier and crazier. So they will hang themselves. You know, like the people that have tried to like ice me out or like socially punish me for whatever their insecurity is, it's never worked out in their favor. I'm still doing what I'm doing, maintained all the relationships that are important to me. And they're the ones that have always come back wishing me happy birthday. After the disrespect, you're going to disrespect me again on my birthday? It's my birthday. Why the fuck would I want to hear from you? Just do you so luxuriously alone until you truly find what aligns. Exactly. One of my old patterns was not addressing things sooner and letting it slide, then crashing out near the end. It's okay. Self-awareness is the first step. We've both been through it. There's better things waiting for us. Keen for the future. Slay! Love to see the support in the chat. Thank you for your positive contributions. Celibate for a year. The standards are standarding. Same. Literally, men should not smile for free, let alone touch me for free. Crazy. Thank you for tuning into the live. As a people pleaser, I suffer with this. Always yes. De-identify with being a people pleaser. Be like, I have people pleasing tendencies, but I'm in recovery. That's what I say. Taught myself to address things when they happen. Iconic. Yes. It's been surprising to see how easy people leave when they know you won't put up with the yeah, they're going to look for someone else to bitch about, someone else to blame. How do you forgive yourself for letting yourself associate with an idiot? Nurture relationships with people that are not idiots. That's the only way. Change through action. Heal through action, not just thinking, okay? A lot of the way that we talk about self-development, I think, it's like, if I just watch these videos, if I just read this book, and it's like, no, you actually have to like face yourself and like do things in your life so that you can move away from one pattern and into a healthier one. It feels bad is crazy. No one cares about me. About him making, yeah. Even when you let things slide, it doesn't add any credit. No. When they get like that, it gives instant block. Yes, they're so ready to lash back. Would never let your shortcomings slide when the tables turn. Exactly. I understand that you did love the person and there is no crime in that. There is no crime in wanting to see the best in them and that you're learning. They'd never put up with their own behavior if it was you. Exactly. Well said, well said. Well said. You have to hand the rope to people who hide their true ideas. My ex was a whole racist. Oh. And had to uncover it over time. Yeah, sometimes it really be like that. I say take the L. Shame is good. Be ashamed. You can do better. Yes. Just a little bit of shame is all you need. Don't let yourself drown in it though. This live opened up my third eye. Oh my God, I'm going to save that. Reaffirmed I'm not crazy. People literally make you feel like you are. Yes. I feel so reassured and confident in my decisions. I needed this so badly. God bless. I feel affirmed as well. You're not alone in the things that you experience. in the difficulties and in the disappointments. That's just part of being alive, okay? You can get caught up in the details and feel like, because I've known this person for so long, because we went to this school together, because we did this together, and you think that it makes your situation unique. Like, you have an individual experience that's like detailed oriented, but like it's not unique in the sense that the dynamic is the same. Everybody experiences heartbreak, everybody experiences disappointment, but what defines your character, what defines your life experience, what defines whether you're really being hot and having fun is how you respond, okay? And unfortunately, there are a lot of people out there that just have no desire, capability, whatever the fuck, I don't even care, for self-improvement. Leave them behind. How do you feel strong knowing your truth? Knowing your truth in friend situations. PTSD makes me obsess over other people's perspective, even when I know it's delusional. Journaling practice for me, because I feel like the way that I experience life/live, it's like I don't really like consciously collect information. Like I don't have good recall, so I spend time journaling, writing down things I'm grateful for. I spend time creating content that's very true to like my authentic perspective with no expectation for it to be like, I don't adjust how I say things or what I say according to what I think people will like. I just say what I'm feeling because I'm open to how my point of view changes, and I don't need people to agree with me because I don't even agree with me like all the time. Me today doesn't necessarily agree with me yesterday, and that's the whole point, okay? Because I want to grow, I want to evolve. So I think that like a thought dumping practice and like positive affirmation practice has been very helpful because it helps me to tune into my subconscious and my intuition a lot better. Because when you're doing thought dumping, just writing whatever comes to your mind, getting it out, no judgment. And then, so that's like cleaning your room, okay? Positive affirmations is like being very intentional with the placement of things in your room, taking stock, taking inventory of how you want the room to look and the design. So then that's planting seeds, okay? Or it's like you're pulling out weeds and then you're planting seeds. So that is what anchors me and my point of view and what I want in life. So when I'm in a situation where I'm like, this feels weird, this feels weird, this feels weird, I can just make a little mental note the next day. This friend was being weird when we were talking about this, ? That's it. And then you just let it unfold from there. Kept all my clothes, they borrowed gifts they could keep, but not my clothes. Oh my God. I don't lend out anything that I'm not okay with not being returned to me. I wish I could just feel okay knowing what's true and not feel like it's my job to prove it all. It's not your job to prove it all. And I think again, I try not to have I try not to be conclusive about my character traits, about my traumas, about who I am. Like, I'm this because I'm this, and this because of that, and this because of that. Like, having flexibility in your self-concept as well while you're building it, I think is really important, because then you realize that there are parts of you that maybe aren't really working in favor of the person that you want to become, and you're working on changing that. You actually can change, because things are going to change whether you like it or not. If you don't change, things around you will change, and then you've changed by not progressing, okay? So you can either learn to embrace the change within yourself, learn to manage the change in a way that's in your favor, or you can just feel or tell yourself that you're stuck in a place that you actually don't need to be. And understanding that it takes time for that to change too. It's not like you decide tomorrow that the things that bother you now aren't going to bother you ever again. It's just the degree to which they bother you can change if you learn to refocus your perspective and your energy in ways that allow for the seeds that you want to grow. You know what I mean? Don't put your focus on the weeds, pull them out, manage the soil so they don't grow to the same degree as before, but then also turn your energy to the things that you want to nurture and have patience around that too, okay? Don't plant the seed and then dig it up tomorrow. Like, hello? Patience is a virtue. I used to come to your page for outfit and makeup inspo. Oh my God, really? I'm just lying on the couch all the time. You made the best point. You made the best choice. A lot of people are not brave enough to make. Exactly. Love your podcast. Thank you for tuning in to the podcast. Oh wow, thank you for saying I have a great voice for it, because my voice is a very controversial topic. Anything explicitly stated, I want back. You know what? You're going to have new things. You're going to have new experiences, new connections, new friends, new money. Say goodbye, cut loose, and move forward. This song is Summer Song by Remy Bond. It's on my Demure and Delusional Autumn playlist on Spotify. Friends from school had good chemistry, doesn't promise friendship longevity. Yeah. Oh yeah, it was All Right by Victoria Monet as well. Sorry, I'm catching up. I think also it's very normal in your mid-20s, early 30s, mid-20s, late 20s for there to be really big shifts in your life and your social circle. Because when you're younger, you're just friends with people that you know from circumstance. Then things start shifting. People start moving abroad. People start different careers, going to different schools. But people's identity and priorities are not necessarily as clear as they become when they hit the late 20s, early 30s, okay? That's when all of the things that you don't really get to address in your younger years, like trauma, like start coming up. Saturn return vibes, quarter life crisis vibes. So it's totally normal for like friendships that you thought were going to last forever when you were 12 to no longer be the case, or for that the nature of that friendship to be redefined. You know, I don't feel like things need to have like a sit down, like, so I noticed that we've been distant recently, like this is what I need you to do in order for me to feel safe in this friendship. It's like develop different friendships, nurture different friendships in your life, and the friends that like actually value you, you will be able to maintain like loose contact with them. I would prefer that than like a hard, are we friends or not? You know, that's kind of what I learned from my mid to late 20s, from people moving countries, people really going for their career in a certain direction or in a certain industry that was unfamiliar to me, you know. That's an indication that you need to lock in on your thing too. I have a good memory. Ruminating on past events was one of my worst issues. I get mad all over. Journaling, I recommend to everyone. Absolutely love it. Practicing gratitude and thought dumping. Yes! Literally radical. Like, I have an upcoming podcast episode that I did with a friend, and we talk about journaling. And I say, like, I get absolutely nothing out of recommending the practice of journaling to people, because it doesn't cost anything. Like $2, $1 for a notebook, $1 for a pen. You don't even have to use a notebook. You could use your phone, but I do think it's better to handwrite. Like, and the reason why I know that I was skeptical before is because I was like so deep in like consumerist thinking, like I have to spend money on things in order to experience progress in my life. And like we said earlier in the live, you know, you can actually live on a very low budget. You don't need things to be branded. You don't need to have the most expensive thing to see effects. It's more about the discipline. So journaling is about the discipline behind it and the practice, less so how much money is spent on it. So I get nothing out of telling you to journal, because like it's not monetizable unless I'm selling you a journal. And even then, I wouldn't tell you you have to buy the journal that I'm selling. You can use a piece of paper, you know, and throw it away later. And then my friend said that journaling is such a radical practice for her. And this is something that I hadn't been able to articulate, because I say that it helps you to connect with your own voice, right? And she says that it helps you to connect with your own voice and realize the other voices that you've internalized. Realizing that when you're like apprehensive about writing something down because of the internalized judgment that you have from your father, from your friend, from society, from your boyfriend, whatever it is. Okay, so you can start to separate your voice from the internalized judgment voice as well. And that is what is so radical about journaling. My therapist says I need to shift my focus to a task and then get back in front. Yes. Proud of everyone, in fact, because this isn't easy. Exactly. And it makes you stronger. Okay, you just get better and better. So, you don't need to be envious, girl. You just go be your best self. Best advice, Oracle. Thank you. I used to think my issue was overthinking, but it's negative thinking. I am a chronic overthinker. Why do you think I have so much to say all the time if it was not for the wheels that turn in my mind? But I realized that it takes energy to think as well. So just like stress, a little bit of stress helps, gets the ball rolling. A little bit of thinking helps. It's important to plan and strategize. But thinking about something over and over and over and over again, questioning, wondering, creating stress in your mind, in your body, that's actually acting against you. So figuring out a way to get a handle of that, thought dumping, meditation, going for a walk, physical activity, all of those things are important, okay? Not over-consuming caffeine. Those are all things that help you to re-regulate. Not watching too much content that stresses you out. I'm talking to me because recently I've been over-consuming conspiracy content. But, I don't follow people that I don't know personally. I don't look at celebrities. I don't, unless I'm watching conspiracy theories about them. I don't really follow influencers, or I just sometimes see stuff, but I'm not, because I'm interested in people who have thoughts, not just people that have an image. Just saw a placeholder vid. I've got you in my AirPods, also deep clean my balcony having a ciggy. Oh my god, slay. On a valley, lol. What do you think the future of men is, with women overtaking men in every aspect of life? I think that sink or swim, babes. The same as it is for women, it's sink or swim for women when it comes to getting an education, getting a job, living your best life. It's going to be that for men too. Okay? So the decent men, the men with sense, are going to level up, are going to find ways to, contribute to society in meaningful ways. And the men that can't do that will just suffer. And the issue is that too many women they don't realize that they're enabling shitty behavior in men and making it worse for all other women. You don't care about yourself, but you don't care about me. That's what I think. Sometimes you don't care enough about yourself in the moment, but you need to pull yourself out by being and how is the greater community affected by my behavior? Extinction, yes. I'm having this chat tomorrow. I'm so anxious about it. Good luck. Radical accepting that friendship will end, but it might not. My cousins and I were raised to treat each other like brothers and sisters. We had to be loyal. It's true. I remember a year ago when I first found your content, I started journaling again. Slay! Being such a beautiful, intimate, rich way of connecting to myself, I can see the change over time. Love that. Now that I'm older, I can decide on my own. They make me feel guilty that I've distanced myself from them. I feel like journaling makes things worse for me. I feel like it makes me stuck. Maybe I need to journal about what I'm grateful for rather than the past or what hurts. For me, it's definitely a two-sided practice. Thought dumping, no judgment. Maybe the reason why it can feel bad is because you're still holding back and you kind of need to be willing to experience the purge. It's like vomiting. You don't want to vomit, but once you've vomited, you feel much better. And sometimes that's what holding in a lot of unnecessary thoughts, or you don't realize how deeply in your mind things are swirling around, and indirectly influencing your decision making and your worldview. So being okay to bleh it out, write about it until you're sick of writing about it, you know? The whole point of journaling is that you don't judge what you've written, and you don't even have to reread it. But once you've cleaned it out, then you do the gratitude practice. Then you do the positive affirmations practice. And I just finished, or I've almost finished, a 28-day gratitude practice that I'm going to probably make YouTube videos about. Really great. Much harder to stick to than I thought. I had to start and stop a few times. Definitely no right way to journal. Maybe some journaling prompts. Also, the 6 pillars of self-esteem, there's written exercises in that book. I read the book and then I went back and I committed to doing the written exercises, and it literally changed my brain chemistry. And at first I was so skeptical, but literally after like the first set of sentence completion, I was like, oh, okay, I didn't expect, like, your conscious mind and your subconscious mind could be operating on 2 totally different things and you don't even realize. And being able to pull out things from your subconscious into your consciousness is how you address your shadow self and how you move forward. You just got to get a hobby if you want to be unbothered, or get many hobbies. Men punch walls if they do get imprisoned. I was doing painful trauma dumps in a journal for a year. You have to work through it. Yeah. But you'll be better for it. You will be better for it. And definitely having like gratitude or positive affirmations after is going to help as well. You want to balance it out. You know, you don't leave the room empty. You want to get the shit out of the room, but you want to also make sure that you have the things that you love in there as well. Yes, everyone can do whatever they want. I'm just sharing point of view, things that have helped me, but dumping into ChatGPT asking for shadow work prompts. Oh, that's smart. I think post book and journaling. What's your opinion on starting a relationship 8 months before leaving a country? Just have fun and don't expect it to last beyond that. It might, but it probably won't. Anytime I feel depressed, I notice I haven't been practicing gratitude. Yes. Literally just being like, I'm grateful for the food and drink that I get to eat every day. I'm nourished, I'm healthy, I'm grateful for this, my living space. I'm grateful for my pillow. I'm grateful for my friends that I mutually love and support. I feel better already. Grateful for this phone. Grateful for this hair clip that keeps my hair dry when I have a shower. I'm grateful for this measuring tape. Oh fuck, I forgot about measuring my nail beds. Oh! Have you ever been in love, or do you feel like you've experienced being in love? I think I've been delusional. Read The Road Less Traveled by M. Scott Peck, and his definition of being in love is very different to like the way that we're taught to think about being in love. Like, I am a very loving person. I practice love in my life. I've been heartbroken as a result of my practice of love. Have I ever been in love? I don't know, and it doesn't really bother me whether that's true or not at this point. Yeah, limerence, right? Yes, the willful extension of oneself towards the spirit. Sometimes I just say like being able to hold another person's best interest as equally important to your own, mutually. I know he said he would move with me, but it's only been 2 months. I'm scared he's love on me. He probably is. Focus on yourself. Maybe he will, maybe he won't. It doesn't matter. Time will tell. Okay, that's what you tell. That's what you just say. You know, time will tell. Time will tell. Because you don't know, and I guarantee you, he probably doesn't either. Yes, it totally changed my brain chemistry. you realize that love is a practice that you can implement in your day-to-day life between you and yourself, between you and your friends and your family and random people that you meet on the street. It's not about sex. It's not about attraction. It's about respect. Okay? And then you realize, oh, a lot of men are not capable of that. So it wasn't really love from them. It was just their attraction and their limerence, maybe. Your ability to love and their lack thereof. I can save my TikTok live, but I don't know how to upload it. Maybe I can just upload it to YouTube. They're like 3 hours long though. How long has this one been? How does money impact friendships? It definitely impacts friendships. Like, as you get older, you realize how deeply ingrained people's relationship with money is. Like, it's not just a surface level thing. It says so much about how you see yourself and other people. Like, I don't know if it's the capitalism, conditioning, or whatever. Okay, I'm going to do my best to put it on YouTube. But if I put it on YouTube, you can't see people's... Like, when you save the video, you don't see people's comments. You just see the video. But maybe in the future, I should just do YouTube live. But I feel like I don't have enough followers on YouTube to do that. But then I guess I could schedule a live on YouTube. I don't know. I'm going to figure it out. Let me know if you have thoughts. But... yeah, ideally you want to be friends with people that have similar values around money. Obviously, no one can have exactly the same values as you, but you kind of like, the closeness will be determined according to the values. It's not about the amount of money to me, it's just about the relationship with money. Okay, so some people think that money is a scarce resource. They have to hoard money. They have to split by the dime. It's this for that, you know, like you eat a bite of their food and they want to charge you for it. I can't be friends with people like that, okay? It's too hard. Other people are maybe too careless with money. They don't think about how they spend money. They don't care how much it is. They're too excessive. They're irresponsible with money. You know, having an awareness of what your relationship with money is. Like, sometimes I can be like more generous with money than people that I'm friends with. That's been something that I've dealt with in the past, and those relationships don't work out because they want to take advantage of you. Please talk about Lebanon. I mean, what happened in Lebanon is fucked up. Is it working now? Hello? Let me know if you can hear me, please. Otherwise, I'm gonna restart. Okay, slay. Yes, free Palestine, free Lebanon, down with Israel, down with imperialism, Western imperialism, crumble. I can't imagine what people who are closely connected to the events of the last year are going through, are dealing with. Literally beyond my comprehension. That's a huge privilege, and I have like lost friends because of my point of view or whatever. I don't give a fuck. Like, they can get fucked. But yeah, continue to educate yourself about the systems that created the world that we live in, so that if you are ever in a position where you have influence over how the next like structure that we live under is created, you'll know what to not do. That to me is almost more important. Not more important, but as important as understanding what's happening. Because what is happening right now is a symptom of like things that have been in motion for years or decades or generations, okay? This is not something that just ends tomorrow, and that's the most fucked and heartbreaking part of all, okay? So understanding how we got here, what was done, what types of deals were made, that's really important, because then you're going to be less likely to be manipulated into being in a situation where this is normalized again. Okay, we don't want that. I'm not scared for World War III. Do I think about death? Yes. I'm a human. You should think about death if you're alive. That's part of being alive, no? Don't fear the thoughts of death. It's important to like reconcile with your mortality, in my opinion. Good book, Rex, for psychology. The 6 Pillars of Self-Esteem. The Road Less Traveled by M. Scott Peck. I recommend both of those books all the time. I study modern history. This is what is so interesting to me too. It goes way far back. Yes. That's what you need to understand about this universe that we live in, okay? Cause and effect. There's always a delay. Karma, always a delay. So you must exercise patience, okay? And the way that the news, mainstream media talks about world events, it talks about it as if this could be over tomorrow. We could end this tomorrow. But, like, there's other shit that's going to come up just as fucked as what we're going through now that's been put in motion years, decades, generations before we were even born. Okay, so it's really important that people are educated in that way to understand that, like, the world that we're living in is not something that's just happened, okay? It's been in the making, and now we're experiencing, like, the consequences of decisions made by people years ago. I remember when I was younger and I was growing up in Australia and 9/11 happened. This is like literally such a random thing to say, but I was like 6, 7 when 9/11 happened. And when you're that young, and when you think about all the propaganda that existed around that event, you're made to think like it just came out of nowhere. But it didn't come out of nowhere, okay? That event, regardless of like the BTS of it, it's a reaction and a result in response to actions, decisions that were made before it, okay? It didn't come out of nowhere. It never comes out of nowhere. If someone blows up at you in a friendship, in a relationship, that doesn't come out of nowhere. It feels like it comes out of nowhere, but resentment has probably been building over time that has led to that explosion. You know what I mean? Like on a micro and a macro level. So understand that in your personal relationships too, you know? The way that people are treating you is also not out of nowhere. I didn't break up with my friend out of nowhere. It was also a build-up of a lot of events over time, a lot of little microaggressions from him that led to me being like, I don't want to talk to you anymore, okay? So realizing that was important for me too. It wasn't just the thing that he did. It was actually that plus a bunch of other shit. Palestinian, Lebanese, Australian. Hindsight is everything. Looking back, that's very true. I didn't even notice the microaggressions. Yeah, you don't notice at the time as consciously as you do. And I think also, like, that's why journaling is important too. Even if you don't read what you wrote, at least you know that you wrote it down somewhere, okay? If I go back into my journals, I'm sure I can find evidence of me being like, WTF, what is this guy smoking? What is my friend smoking? I feel weird when I'm in rooms with these people. Oh, I've just been measuring the same nail over and over. I'm an idiot. Born on the road in 1948, fleeing Palestine. Slay for your grandma. She's a brave lady. Courage is in your DNA. Yeah, that's why journaling is important, because you can just make a note, you know, even if you don't read it, you subconsciously know that that note has been made that contributes to your final decision to be like, bye, see you never. I'm sorry, I'm actually speechless at the levels of fuckery that exist in our society, and like I don't even know what I could possibly say to anyone to be like alleviate any of the pain and suffering that they're going through in relation to those events. So all I can say is that imperialism is poo. We must decolonize our hearts and our minds together and think about the ways in which your decisions today will impact generations after you. We have been blessed with the privileges that we have as a result of women suffering and sacrificing in ways that we could never even imagine. So it's important that even though you don't see or understand the impact of what you might have, the impact you might have in deciding what's best for you and standing up for yourself and doing what you believe is right, you might not see the effect of that immediately, but it doesn't mean that you shouldn't do it. You know what I mean? Like, I don't necessarily believe that in my lifetime I will see the end of the patriarchy. Maybe, I doubt it, but that doesn't stop me from still sharing and learning about the things that are important to me, because if I can even help like one person to break up with their crusty, ugly boyfriend that is ruining their life, sucking their potential from them, if one person can do that as a result of something that I have said in conjunction with a lot of other things that they might be exposed to, then it's worth it. Okay? Because somewhere, like even the sacrifices that my mom made for me, like I am who I am because I was raised by her, and the choices that she made for me, I can now see the impact of those decisions, and like the discipline and the sacrifice that it took for her to do that, for me to be in this position. So always consider that, in my opinion. Very important. 10 millimeters? Bruh. Free Palestine. I posted like a clip of me, of like a clip from the podcast that my friend took a video of, where I'm like going on this rant about like how unhinged everything is, and I mention Palestine and Israel and the genocide, and I'm like, yes, free Palestine. And then someone commented, free Palestine question. I was like, what do you mean question? Do you want to fight, bitch? I'm ready. I don't even know. Like, I'm here for you. That's kind of it, like, you're in my prayers. Pray for them. Sometimes you just ask people, like, is there anything I can do? Is there anything that I can say or remind you of? What can I do to help you? Sometimes you just need to ask and then do that, rather than keep trying to assume and maybe like hit a wrong nerve. Service industry was a bit of a cultural shock. I had to order food at the counter. Yeah. But I'm DJing tomorrow and Tuesday, Wednesday. Tried pole dancing, freaking love it. I'm going to start a beginner course next month. Yay! Love that. Pole dance is the best. I can't go until Tuesday. So annoying. Everyone's on holiday. But I'm going to go to yoga tomorrow, actually. Pole dancing is so fun. I wish you the best on your pole journey. So good. My friend just messaged me saying they watched Blink twice. They're like, I want to believe it's not real. I was like, dude, it was like watching a documentary. really got to go to the gym, we've been paying for 2 years and haven't been. Oh my God, go. But also look for an exercise that you enjoy. Don't feel like exercise can only be done at the gym, you know. That's what I learned when I started going to pole. I'd rather pay a little bit more for pole dance classes, knowing that I'll actually go, than pay for the gym and never go. Supposed to go on a date tonight. I feel like he's going to ghost. He hasn't told me a plan yet. Yeah, just make other plans. And if he makes a plan, be like, oh, sorry, I made other plans because I didn't hear from you, but let me know in advance next time when you have a plan. Would love to see you. Wink face. At the beginning of the live, I talked about how you should never wait for a man to waste your time. They are poo-poo. Yeah, don't wait around. Please, 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 please do not wait around. They are... Either they come correct or they don't come at all, you know? It's okay, I think, that they can get ahead of themselves, they haven't planned their time properly, whatever. It is extra pressure on men to figure that out. So you can give them a little bit of grace, but you don't need to be waiting, you know. You can do that without adjusting your schedule to meet a non-existent one. To meet his non-existent schedule. You know? Focus on your own schedule. It's the third date, so I'm just going to leave it. Damn. Honestly, I miss being love bombed. That was way more fun. Normalize just enjoying love bombing and getting the best out of men and leaving. Don't get attached to the love bombing, just enjoy it. That's what I would say. That's my life advice for dating. Because at least love bombing is kind of exciting. They put in a lot more effort when they're trying to love bomb you. Attention is fun once in a while, yeah. I was just saying to my friend, like, or maybe I was saying on live the other day, like, and I was also saying to my friend, enjoy the attention. Flirt with everyone, okay? Not all flirting has to have, like, a sexual or romantic end goal. Flirt with life. Be joyous and happy. And don't get attached to outcomes, you know? I flirt with everyone. It doesn't mean I want everyone. And not in, like, an aggressive and sexual way, but, you know, I keep it cute and fun. Don't take it too seriously. Definitely don't take men too seriously. Do you think I have a career in ASMR if I stop DJing? Having high standards is boring but peaceful, yes. Like, just 2 months ago, I was being pursued by, like, 3 dudes or something. And now I'm back to square one. Loving it. Men come and go. Slay is forever. Peace and prosperity. Priceless. Male attention. Worthless. The math does itself, everybody. Okay? Simple math. Quick math. How do I decenter man? You get hobbies. And you connect to things that are more important and more valuable to you than male attention. Ideal man, do you have a type? No, I'm starting again. I never really had a type before, at least not on a conscious level. And I've just, like, pretty much lost interest in men generally. I can enjoy the attention of men. I can be like, oh, he's cute. Oh, like, he knows how to compliment me, or like it was a cute little interaction we had. But it doesn't have to go further than that for me right now, unless they're gonna really add value. And even if they do, I'm kind of busy. I don't really know if I have time. You can have, I don't have any men, and even if I did, you could have all of them. Book Rex, The Road Less Traveled by M. Scott Peck, and The 6 Pillars of Self-Esteem. Those are the books that I recommend on every live when someone asks me about books. The 6 Pillars of Self-Esteem and The Road Less Traveled by M. Scott Peck. Yet to find a man as interesting as a woman, exactly. Because men only have knowledge, they don't have understanding, okay? Women have understanding, and that's interesting. Men can only tell you things that you could just Google or watch a YouTube video about. So, like, why the fuck am I talking to you for free? What's interesting about women? You tell me, babe. You don't find women interesting, that's fine. Don't come into their lives asking dumb questions. Trying to decenter men, deleted dating apps, and it helped. Yes. Why would you spend your free time swiping on random men that you don't know? I think dating apps are fine, like every now and then, if you are bored and lonely, maybe. I'm not that bored and rarely lonely, so I don't see the point. But I understand that for some people, it makes sense. Do you model your serving? I do model. But recently I did a shoot and the photos that the client picked were so fucking ugly. I actually am thinking about going to Korea and getting a new face and getting a new body, because what the actual fuck. I get bored and lonely a lot trying to do other things. Yeah, there's just so many other things that you can do other than date men, you know? Be realistic about how to keep yourself entertained. Be part of the gay community. Get some more gay friends. They'll entertain you more than a straight man will, for sure. My gay friend just cooked me and my other girlfriend a 3-course meal the other night. Exactly. Girls and gays forever.